Welcome back, everyone. Today on our Explainer, we're tackling a topic that literally strikes fear into the hearts of homeowners and landlords everywhere. I mean, just picture this, right? It's the absolute dead of winter. You step into the shower to start your day, and bam, you're hit with freezing, ice-cold water. Or, maybe you wake up, pull back the duvet, and instantly realize you can actually see your breath in your own bedroom. So you wander downstairs, wrapped up in like 3 layers of sweaters. You open up the utility cupboard and, yep, your boiler has officially given up the ghost. Ugh, it's just this incredibly stressful, sinking feeling. Because whether you're shivering in your own home or you're fielding panicked phone calls from freezing tenants, when that metal box on the wall stops working, you are instantly thrust into this high-stakes, high-stress decision-making process. Okay, let's dive into this. It is the ultimate dilemma. Should you repair your boiler or replace it? Now, on the surface, it sounds like a simple binary choice, right? A or B. But as anyone who's ever owned property knows, it carries a massive psychological and, let's be real, financial weight. You're just standing there looking at this completely silent piece of machinery, trying to weigh the immediate short-term cost of a quick fix against the much, much larger long-term investment of a brand new installation. And hey, we want to validate that struggle right up front because it is very real and it's incredibly common. You want to be smart with your money, obviously, but you also desperately need the heat back on, like, right now. So you find yourself wondering, am I looking at a 50-pound part here, or am I about to drop thousands? It's a really delicate balancing act of managing your finances, restoring comfort, and just trying to secure some basic peace of mind for the future. So to make this a little easier, let's look at the actual logic behind this decision. It really helps to think of this as a sort of decision tree. On one hand, you have scenarios where a repair absolutely makes sense, right? If the repair is small, say, a minor sensor replacement or just a simple valve swap, and crucially, if your boiler is otherwise pretty modern, well-maintained, and historically reliable, then making that repair is for sure the smart move. You swap out the part, pay the engineer, and you're good to go. But the math shifts dramatically when you start dealing with repeated breakdowns. This is when you really have to start considering a full replacement. If you're constantly calling someone out to patch up a system that's just fundamentally failing, well, a repair is no longer an actual fix. It's honestly just a very expensive Band-Aid. Think of it like a really old car. At a certain point, replacing the transmission and then the alternator and then the exhaust, it eventually costs way more than just buying a reliable new vehicle. And this brilliantly illustrates what we're talking about, because when a boiler is fundamentally failing, it's going to give you warning signs. It rarely just dies quietly overnight. Let's walk through what that failure actually looks like in real time, because these 5 signs mean your system is desperately trying to tell you something. First, the endless breakdowns. You pay a call-out fee to fix it on Monday, and no way it's broken again by Friday. Second, it's constantly losing pressure. You find yourself just staring at that little gauge, twisting the filler loop underneath the boiler over and over again just to get the thing to fire up. Third, you're finding leaks. I'm talking actual puddles of water ruining your floorboards or pooling inside cupboards where moisture absolutely should not be. Fourth, it's making terrible, ominous noises. Clunking, whistling, banging. It sounds like a tiny blacksmith is literally trapped inside the casing. And finally, the ultimate red flag. It's costing you more and more money every single year just to keep it on life support, while your energy bills are simultaneously skyrocketing because the unit has lost all its efficiency. The sheer frustration of dealing with these cascading issues is it's completely exhausting. So the crucial point is, and honestly, this is a rule to live by, do not keep paying for repeated repairs on a failing boiler. Let that sink in for a second. This is the definitive advice you absolutely need to hear when you're caught in that vicious cycle of frustration and plunging temperatures. It really all comes down to what economists call the sunk cost fallacy. Human psychology sort of plays a trick on us here. You think to yourself, well, look, I just put 300 pounds into fixing the pump last month. I should probably just pay another 150 to fix this new valve, because otherwise that first 300 was totally wasted. No, stop the cycle. Paying for endless repairs on a dying machine is literally just throwing good money after bad. You have to recognize when the life cycle of the appliance is truly over, sever that emotional attachment to the money you've already spent, and protect your future bank balance. Now, once you make that tough decision to actually replace the unit, the relief is honestly massive. The benefits go so far beyond just having a working machine, it fundamentally changes how you experience the property. First off, you get your heating reliability back. You bump the thermostat up on a chilly evening, and the radiators actually get hot every single time, without you having to cross your fingers or constantly reset the system. Second, your hot water performance is entirely restored. No more rushing through a lukewarm shower in absolute terror, waiting for a sudden ice bath halfway through your morning routine. And third, long-term property comfort. You're fundamentally transforming the environment of the home, whether it's for you and your family or for your tenants who are relying on you for a habitable living space. A reliable, modern, highly efficient new system provides his foundational level of comfort and peace of mind that a patched-up old boiler simply never will. Plus, those modern efficiency standards are going to start chipping away at your monthly energy bills, which is a huge win. Let's move to and see how this builds into a really practical solution based on our source material. If you're dealing with this massive headache in the London area, the sources point directly to Landlord Property Certificates. They actually specialize in handling these exact high-stress situations by helping customers arrange boiler installations with an approach that's both highly professional and incredibly practical. Because getting a new boiler isn't just about, buying the metal box. It's about making sure it's installed safely, legally, and correctly so that your warranty is valid and your property is completely protected. They totally understand the severe urgency of the situation because, let's face it, nobody wants to freeze. And they provide a streamlined, expert way to get that failing system off your wall and a reliable, brand new, energy-efficient system installed right in its place. The clear takeaway from the experts here is don't wait for the next catastrophic breakdown on a freezing bank holiday weekend. Take control of your property's heating and resolve the issue before it gets any worse. Which brings us to our final thought for this explainer. I want you to really, really ask yourself, are you throwing money away on a boiler that has already failed? Take a hard look at your maintenance receipts from the last 2 years. If you're stuck in that endless cycle of bizarre leaks, weird clanging noises, plunging pressure gauges, and constant expensive emergency service calls, it is time to empower yourself. Stop paying for repeated, useless repairs on a machine that has well and truly reached the end of the line. Look at the evidence, do the math on those sunk costs, and make the smart, definitive choice for your property's long-term comfort and your own peace of mind. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you on the next explainer.